Alright, part 3 of my wrestling DVD collection. Hi, I'm Tony Kegger, and like I said in my last video, this is all about my WWE Pay-Per-View DVDs. So let's get going. Here we go. I got a lot of these, more than I thought I had. Let's go here first. ECW, One Night Stand 2005. It's the first ever ECW pay-per-view since they closed. I think they closed in 2001. They came back for One Night Stand in 2005. They had another one in 2006. Main event of this pay-per-view was Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman versus the Dudley Boys. Got some good matches in this. Best match in this DVD was Mike Awesome versus Tanaka. That was a good match. Alright, let's go quickly because there's a lot of DVDs here. Vengeance 2003. This is an awesome DVD. Very good. I bought without even watching it just because I still look at the matches and like these matches look awesome. And like every match here is just great. Main event was Lesnar versus Big Show versus Kurt Angle. One of the best Lesnar matches I've ever seen. Probably the best Big Show match I've ever seen. Zach Gowen versus Mr. Man. Undertaker versus John Cena. Benoit versus Guerrero. Stephanie McMahon versus Stable. World's Greatest Tag Team, which was Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin versus Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio. The APA Invitational, starring the Acolytes, the APA, and a bunch of other guys. Forget who else is in it. But they had the Easter Bunny. And according to Wikipedia, the Easter Bunny was played by none other than Damien Sandow. Okay, and you got Billy Gunn versus Jamie Noble. Good pay-per-view, really good. You got Survivor Series 2003. There's another one. I never saw it, but I looked at the matches, like, hey, it looks pretty good. And a lot of these matches were pretty good. I mean, main event Goldberg versus Triple H. Undertaker versus Mr. Man. Shane McMahon versus Kane, the first ever ambulance match. And this was an awesome ambulance match. Then you got Stone Cold's team versus Eric Bischoff's team. Let me see who's on this team. Stone Cold's team had Shawn Michaels, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, the Dudley Boys, versus Bischoff's team, which was Jericho, Christian, Scott Steiner, Mark Henry, and Randy Orton. Then you got Team Angle versus Team Lesnar. Bunch of good guys here too. Look, it's Kurt Angle, Benoit, Harker Holly, Bradshaw, John Cena versus Lesnar, Big Show, Nathan Jones, Matt Morgan, and A-Train, a.k.a. Tensai. Then you got Molly Holly versus Lita, Tajiri versus Jamie Noble, Bash and Birch versus the Guerrero brothers. Or Guerrero, they're not brothers, but you know, the Guerreros. Eddie and Chavo. Okay. I gotta stop reading all these matches because I'm not gonna be able to finish this. You got SummerSlam 2008. Top 3 matches on this were, got the Hell in a Cell, Edge versus Undertaker. You got CM Punk versus JBL for a championship. You got Triple H versus Great Khali for the WWE Championship. So, and then you got the Shawn Michaels option where he says he's gonna retire, and then you know Chris Jericho comes out and like punches Shawn Michaels' wife in the face. So this was a really good SummerSlam. Okay, Royal Rumble Anthology, 1998 to 2002. I first got this because I really wanted that Rock vs. Mankind I Quit match from 1998. And at the time, the only way you can get that on DVD is if you bought this thing. And now I think the Rock's new DVD has that I Quit match. But I love the Royal Rumble matches on these sets. You got 5 Royal Rumbles. It's like the Attitude Era of the Royal Rumbles. And the winners were like, the 1998 winner was Steve Austin. 1999 winner was Mr. McMahon. 2000 winner was The Rock. 2001 winner was Stone Cold. You got Triple H winning in 2002. And this 2001 Rumble won by Triple H was, no. 2001 Rumble won by Stone Cold. That was a great match. That's the one with Drew Carey. Let's take a quick look at some of these matches. 1998 one had the famous casket match between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. 1999, you had the famous I Quit match, like I said, Mankind versus The Rock. 2000, Madison Square Garden. Main event was Triple H versus Cactus Jack, the street fight. Famous match there. 2001, you have the famous ladder match, Jericho versus Benoit. And in 2002, you had the famous Ric Flair versus McMahon street fight. Also, you had Chris Jericho versus The Rock for the undisputed title. A lot of good, like, non-Rumble matches on this collection. So very cool. I got this for like $35. They pay a lot for it, but it's worth it. I got some good. Unfortunately, not everything's on the network, but you know I didn't know at the time. Some more Royal Rumble DVDs. This is Royal Rumble 2004, I think. 2004 in Philadelphia. It's the one that Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble. He was the first one in. And he was in there for like 60 minutes. Good match in this one. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, last man standing. Lesnar versus Hercule Ali. It's not a bad match. Dudley Boyz versus Ric Flair and Batista. I don't remember that match, but I think it was alright. Okay. Royal Rumble 2005. That was the one Batista won. He eliminated John Cena in the Royal Rumble. And Triple H versus Randy Orton. That's a really good match. JBL versus Kurt Angle versus Big Show is a good match. Shawn Michaels versus Edge. And even Undertaker versus, how do you spell it? Heinrich? I don't know how to say that. I don't remember that guy. I wasn't watching in 2005. But that was actually a pretty good match. Surprisingly. A lot of people don't like it, but I liked it. Okay, Royal Rumble 2008. Madison Square Garden. The one where John Cena was number 30. And the whole roof of the Madison Square Garden blew off. It's like, oh my god, John Cena's here. Because he wasn't supposed to be there because he was supposed to be injured. But he came back super quick. And some good matches here. I like that. Jericho versus JBL. That was not a bad match. It was pretty good. Jericho got busted up pretty bad. He was like bleeding a lot. And you got Ric Flair versus MVP. Some nice good matches here. Ed versus Rey Mysterio. Orton versus Jeff Hardy. I mean, some not bad matches. They're pretty good pay-per-view. And the main event, the Royal Rumble is pretty good too. Okay. There you go. Here's some Chicago pay-per-views. That's my hometown, Chicago. I love the pay-per-views in Chicago. Great crowd. This first one, I was not at No Mercy. I wish I was, but I wasn't watching in 2007. But what's cool about this one is they start the show with Vince McMahon giving the title to Randy Orton because he just injured John Cena the night before. So Randy Orton, first time ever, is WWE champion. Then Triple H comes out, challenges Orton to a match, wins the title, first match of the night. And then Triple H wrestles Umaga for the title in the middle of the night. And then after Triple H is wrestling 2 matches, McMahon comes up to him and says, "You're wrestling Orton in a last man standing match in the main event." So it's Triple H's third title match of the night, and he loses. And that was an awesome match. Orton versus Triple H, last man standing. And they got a good match here. Batista versus Rick Khali in the Punjabi prison match. That was fun to watch. They got a bonus match here. It's not on this because it's not on the back here because it was a bonus match. I forget who was in it. I think it was like Jeff Hardy and Brian Kendrick and Paul London versus Mr. Kennedy and Trevor Murdoch and maybe like Lance Cade. And it was a really good match. It was very good. It was very fun to watch. I mean, yeah, go look at No Mercy 2007 in the network if you have it. And go look for that 6-man tag team match because that's actually a pretty good match. Judgment Day 2009. First ever WWE event I went to. And the main event was Edge versus Jeff Hardy. An awesome match. They also had Orton versus Batista for a WWE title. And I think maybe a match that stole the show was Jericho versus Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. That was the first match of the Jericho and Mysterio trilogy. Great trilogy of matches. First match had been Judgment Day. Second match was Extreme Rules. And the third match was at the Bash. And the first of the trilogy was here at Judgment Day. And Ric Flair made a special appearance in this show. Actually a pretty good pay-per-view. Also has a nice match from Punk and Umaga. A nice match from Morrison and Shelton Benjamin. And also Christian versus... Christian versus Jack Swagger. I mean, every match here was good. There was like no bad matches. Night of Champions 2010. You got good main event matches. Undertaker versus Kane. You got Daniel Bryan winning United States Champions over The Miz, his first ever title win in WWE. And you got the six-pack challenge. You got Orton versus Sheamus versus Cena versus Wade Barrett versus Edge versus Jericho. Sheamus was a champion, but as you can see, Orton left the night with the champion. I was a huge Orton fan at the time, so I love seeing that live. I was at this event. What a match they had here. They had Big Show versus Punk, and Punk loses in 5 minutes. I didn't like that match. Like, come on, really? You lose the Big Show in 5 minutes in your hometown? Didn't like it. Melina versus Michelle McCool. That's the last time they had the women's championship. They got rid of the women's championship after that match. Now it's only the Divas championship. Ziggler versus Kofi was the first match. That was a pretty good match. I mean, they had some good matches in this pay-per-view. I liked it. Okay, here's one of my favorite pay-per-views. I was at this pay-per-view. Money in the Bank 2011. And if you don't know what Money in the Bank 2011 is, look it up. Main event, of course. You can see it right here. John Cena versus CM Punk. Best match I've ever seen. Dave Meltzer, 5-star match. The why this pay-per-view is so good because it's not just that one match. It had ladder matches in the DVD were awesome. You got the one the real one was good, and then the first match of the night, SmackDown Money in the Bank match, Daniel Bryan winning the Money in the Bank, and nobody thought Daniel Bryan was going to win that match. I mean, he was I think everybody wanted him to win, but I think most people were pretty shocked that he actually won it. And of course, you had Randy Orton versus Christian. Randy Orton and Christian had a bunch of good matches until 11. This was actually one of their worst matches, but it was still a pretty good match. And Christian actually won the title by disqualification in this pay-per-view. You also got Big Show versus Mark Henry. The only thing bad about this pay-per-view, you got Kelly versus Brie Bella. And that was actually one of the worst matches of 2011. But the other matches are so good that I don't even care that match is bad. And then you got Extreme Rules 2012. It's another one I went to Chicago. And this one was just as good as Money in the Bank. Some people might think it was better. But the main event matches on this pay-per-view were awesome. All of them were delivered. The main event, of course, John Cena versus Lesnar. I was thinking that match was going to be disappointing, but ended up being really good. I was surprised how good it was. And then Cena was bleeding. Lesnar was bleeding. You got CM Punk versus Jericho in the street fight. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, 2 out 3 falls. That's actually my favorite match of the 12. I love that match. Big Show versus Cody Rhodes was a quick match, but it was actually fun to watch. Orton versus Kane was a really good match. I mean, a lot of good matches in the pay-per-view. Again, the Divas match was probably the worst match of the night. But even that was pretty cool because Layla made a surprise comeback. And she came back from injury, so that was kind of cool. She won the title. So this is a really good pay-per-view. Not on this disc. Not on the back here is Dolph Ziggler versus Brodus Clay, which was like a squash match. I mean, Ziggler really jabbed to Brodus in that match. Okay, this is long, but let's keep going here. We got all my WrestleMania ones here. WrestleMania Anthology, 1995 to 1999. WWE Shop had this sale where they had this for $7. It's hell yeah, I'm buying this. It was 5 WrestleManias. Let's see if we can. Let me open this up. See the WrestleManias you got here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I already have 15. You saw the VHS. You saw my first video, my last video. I have the VHS of WrestleMania 15. But now I have a DVD too. That's kind of cool. I mean, 13 was in Chicago. That's the famous Bret Hart versus Stone Cold match on that pay-per-view. 12 was the Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. 11 was Bad Man Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor. 14, you had the famous Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold match. And also you had Undertaker versus Kane. So a lot of good matches on these WrestleManias. Especially for the price I paid. I think, like I said, I paid $7. I mean, I paid a lot with shipping, but still. Getting 5 WrestleManias for that price is a really good deal. And I got Volume 1 of the Anthology too. I should have showed this one first, but oh well. This is the first 5 WrestleManias. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now that I have the WWE Network, I don't need any of these, but it's kind of cool to have them all in one spot. I mean, these are essentials. You gotta see the first WrestleMania once. I like to see WrestleMania 2 because that's the Chicago WrestleMania. WrestleMania 3 is one of the best. WrestleMania 4 had that, think that's the one with the tournament. And WrestleMania 5 had a bunch of good matches. And what I love about this set, Jesse Ventura, one of my favorite announcers, he called all these WrestleManias. So that alone, made it worth it. You only pay like $20, right? It's not that bad. You get 5 pay-per-views for $20. It's a good price. And it's over 15 minutes now, but so let's see if I can wrap this up. WrestleMania 20. You got WrestleMania 21, WrestleMania 22, WrestleMania 23, WrestleMania 24, WrestleMania 25. I bought this one on Amazon. These other 5, they came in this WWE shop package. I think it was like $50. So I mean, $50 sounds expensive, but when you think about it, $10 for WrestleMania. And so at the time it was a pretty good deal, especially this one. This one just came out like the year before. So I think I got to like 2010. And I just love watching, not because of WrestleMania, it's because of the Hall of Fame speeches. It's just so fun to watch Hall of Fame speeches, and especially WrestleMania 24, one of my favorites, because you had the Ric Flair Hall of Fame speech where he literally talks for like an hour and a half. I mean, Triple H spends like 30 minutes just introducing him. And also, of course, you got The Rock on the Hall of Fame too. Rock just talking for like half an hour, making jokes. It's fun to watch. And the match in these ones are awesome. And I love the Cena versus Orton versus Triple H match. I love Big Show versus Mayweather. The CM Punk Money in the Bank ladder match where he wins over first time in Money in the Bank. And of course, like Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. I actually didn't like Edge versus Undertaker that much. I might watch it again. But for some reason, I just don't like that match that much. 23, 22. 22 in Chicago, I did not go to WrestleMania, unfortunately, because I wasn't watching. If I was watching, I definitely would have gone. Triple H and Cena main event was awesome just because, first of all, it was an awesome match, and second of all, the crowd was just hating Cena the whole match. And they were cheering for Triple H, even though Triple H was the heel. And 21, really good matches here. I mean, a lot of people think Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle is like one of the best WrestleMania matches ever. Triple H versus Batista was the main event. You had Undertaker versus Orton. I didn't talk about this one yet. I love Shawn Michaels versus Cena. Batista versus Undertaker is supposed to be a really good match. I don't know. It's okay. And you got the Battle of the Billionaires. Bobby Lashley versus Umaga. Not a bad match. It's okay. And similar matches here. You got the Money Bank, won by Mr. Kennedy. It was CM Punk WrestleMania debut was in that match. And not a great WrestleMania, but it's got some good matches. And let me talk about WrestleMania 25 real quick. This one's okay. I mean, first of all, like, the most important match in this one is Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, of course. That's one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever. I actually don't like it too much, but, I do like it. It's a good match. Orton versus Triple H, I was looking so forward to this match when it first happened. It was kind of disappointing. But, oh well. Still not a bad match. People say they hate it, but it's actually a really good match. It's just not as good as it could have been. Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy on this DVD. I kind of almost forget about this match. It was okay. It was probably could have been better. Money in the Bank, CM Punk 2 years in a row. And you got the Hall of Fame here. This is pretty cool. You got Steve Austin in the Hall of Fame, Ricky Steamboat, the Von Erich family, Bill Watts, the Funk Brothers, Coco Beware, Howard Finkel. Not a bad Hall of Fame class. These Hall of Fame ceremonies are the best parts of these WrestleManias. For real. So fun to watch. Okay, I'm almost at 20 minutes now, so I'm just going to cut off now. But here's all my pay-per-views. It's a lot more than I thought I had. And thanks for watching. And part 4 is next. And I'll tell you what it is when you see it. Bye.